Like the rest of the cast, Z Broly can now Gatling his jump specials into jump heavies. Most of the links that I've been able to find are corner only though. Still, Broly does appreciate being able to use these ki blasts and then still going into his jump heavies to get knockdown situations. Broly's medium and heavy versions of Gigantic Claw, his command throw, have increased movement speed as you charge them. Before, this is what the distance covered looked like. This is what they look like now. You'll also note another thing too, and that's the fact that the EX version of Gigantic Claw now has faster startup. This applies to both the charged and uncharged version of the EX command throw. Before uncharged, it was 24 frame startup. Fully charged, it was 42 frames. Well, 42 on average. Here, for some reason, it came out of frame 43. Uncharged, it's 2 frames faster, connecting at frame 22. Meaning that it's slightly more potent as a mix-up tool in all situations compared to the medium version. Additionally, fully charged, the startup has been dramatically reduced. From frame 42 to frame 34, so about an 8 frame difference. There's some potential here for Z Broly to use this for the hit of armor to jump scare the opponent. We'll see how often this applies though. All versions of Lariat Express have had their knockback adjusted when there's not a cinematic hit. The medium and the EX versions do have cinematic hits where Broly gets a smash launcher he's able to combo off of. However, if you burn a smash launcher, then you get these other hits that aren't cinematic. So these are the hits that we're going to be talking about today. Let's take a look at each of the versions in the old version. The light version's the easiest to demonstrate. This was the old knockback. This is the new knockback. As you can see, there's about 4 extra frames of advantage here between the two versions, meaning that it's probably more likely that you're going to be able to make links that you couldn't before. Mid-screen solo, without any sort of resources, I don't really see too much of a functional difference for the character overall, as he still probably needs an assist or a vanish to pick these up. However, this change is probably here to make it so that Z Broly is actually able to combo into these lariats during sparking. You also see that the EX version now gives a wall bounce on hit like this. Compare that to before. No wall bounce there. So there's definitely a little more combo variety that Z Broly can use with these moves. Powered Shell now has a new functionality to it. If you hold down the special button as you do this move, Z Broly will now rise up into the air. Some people have speculated that you could potentially use this to set up 50-50s with him in the corner with an assist. However, we are talking about trying to mix somebody with a 13 frame low here, so I don't really think that this particular application holds that much water. There's another functionality change here though, and that is if you press light, medium, or heavy during the rising frames of this move, you now get the corresponding version of Gigantic Strike, Z Broly's air grab. This effectively means that this move is a shortcut for Z Broly to execute Tiger Knees. This is noticeably useful for making it easier to combo into these moves during sparking cancels. Definitely a nice little quality of life change to make it easier for Z Brolys to get these links. However, as a result of this change, you now only get 1 powered shell per jump. And as you can see, it even applies to your double jump state as well. So, character is less likely to be able to stall his airborne momentum by using this option. Not really a change that I think he's going to notice too much, but still, it's important to note. Broly's B assist now does more hits. This is the current patch version. We saw a change like this to Vegeta's A assist before as well, and so Z Broly to get it means that it's more combo friendly as well as just has a greater screen presence overall. This is what it looked like before. So in total, you get a 3 extra ki blast from this move. I don't really think it's going to mean that people pick up this assist more often, as it's competing with his solid A assist as well as his buffed C assist, which was already good before. Speaking of a C assist, it also has some changes. There's increased movement speed to it, and the character now appears in a different spot. This is what it looked like before. 35 frame startup for Z Broly here to approach the character. Up close, it would look like this. So it kind of always spawned this fixed distance in front of the opponent to make sure it could connect at frame 35. This is how it looks now. As you can see, the startup is still frame 35, but it seems like Z Broly spawns a little bit farther behind. This probably means that the opponent is less likely to hit him out before the armor frames become active or be able to shred through the armor before the assist makes a connection to it. I think that this is a functional buff, but if there's a dedicated Z Broly player that is able to appreciate these nuances better, do let us know in the comment section below. Like many other characters, Z Broly gets a few new tools to play with, and I don't really think that most of the buffs here are actually going to greatly impact how strong the character is overall. Some of these changes are largely targeted around making it so that he's able to play with these new special move cancels that he can do while he's in Spark, and he's certainly going to be more potently terrifying for that one. I mean, imagine a Broly coming at you, canceling into Lariats before he threatens a command grab mix. The EX command throw being a little faster does help up his mix-up, but he still suffers from a couple of issues from nerfs that happened some years ago now. After he gets out of his lights, he has no safe way of ending his stagger pressure with his normals, since his Ki Blast, 5H, 2M, and 5M are all unsafe options for the character. Meanwhile, Android 16 is able to kind of be able to threaten safe pressure from all of his normals as well, making him a more safe command throw character to play. But Power Shell is Broly's own unique strength here, where he's able to basically shut down any sort of full screen interaction from the opponent's neutral assist calls or from their Ki Blast or projectiles. We'll see how Z Broly stands up. Honestly, I think the biggest buff to Z Broly is potential changes to the meta overall, as some characters, namely his worth matchups and lab coats, have seen several nerfs this patch that might mean that they are less popular overall within the metagame itself. We'll see where Z Broly stands. I think he's perfectly functional and fine in this patch, but certainly not the same stagger monster that he was in older versions of the game.